So here you go. This is a nice southwestern style chicken fajita recipe. We have some poblanos and onions over here. These wonderful chicken breasts that have been marinated and then grilled up. Pico de gallo, guacamole, some queso fresco, sweet peppers and cilantro, and right now I'm ready to go at it. All I need is to get me some tortillas and it's time to eat. Well, hello! Welcome back to Texas Cooking Today. On this episode, we're going to be making some chicken fajitas. Now, chicken fajitas are a delight and they're enjoyed all over the United States. But I'm going to show you how we like to do it in Texas. I'm going to show you some southwestern flavors and a neat way to cook up chicken fajitas, and you're going to impress everybody that tastes these. So, we're going to get into the right thing to smoke with, the right thing to marinate with, and all these wonderful ingredients that we have to work with. And we're going to make some of the most exotic, beautiful, and tasty fajitas you've ever eaten. Come over this way. Let's go over all of our goodies. Now, of course, our dish is based on chicken, so I'm going to use some basic chicken breasts here. We're going to flatten these out a little bit. We're going to season them up just right and marinate them, and they're going to be unbelievable tasting. Now, with that, of course, you have to have the right vegetables and all the other goodies that go along with it. I'm going to be making a pico de gallo and some guacamole to go with this, but other things that you normally would put with fajitas, you would see bell peppers and onion. Well, frankly, I think bell peppers are boring, and the regular white or yellow onion is a little bit boring. So we're going to use a red onion on this, and I've got some poblano chilies out here instead of bell peppers. These have a lot better flavor to them, way better flavor to them, than a bell pepper ever could hope to have. So grab some of these poblanos if you can. Sometimes in grocery stores they're mislabeled. Some people call them anchos, some people call these pasillas. They're not, they're poblanos, okay? And they're delicious. Now grab some of those. I have some sweet peppers down here, and I'm going to take these. I don't plan on really cooking these up. I'm just going to slice rings out of them so they can be used raw, right in those fajitas. We have some tortillas. You can use flour or corn. I like corn. It's a little more genuine article kind of thinking, and it's the preferred item in Mexico. And as far as who likes them in Texas, it's about 50-50 here as far as who likes corn versus who likes the flour. And I get that information because I've talked to some restaurateurs to find out, you know, how much they sell of each, and they say it's about half and half. And that out of several of them, if I hear that, well, I believe it. I have here some queso fresco. Queso fresco is simply fresh cheese. This is, if you were to take something like ricotta and press all of the whey out of it so you only had curd, and give it some time to firm up there, have it a little bit lightly salty, that's what you have here. It's delicious and fantastic if you want a unique twist for your fajitas. Why put English cheese on there when we can put Mexican cheese on there? Now for that marinade that we're going to be doing, back here I have some spices. Now the spices that I have are cumin, cayenne, paprika. And then of course back over this way I have salt, and we have lime juice. Now we're going to be marinating this in a combination of those spices and the lime juice. And it doesn't take long. An hour's worth of marinating once we pound these out is very good for chicken. It'll be sufficient for this dish. So let's get right on with making some wonderful fajitas. We have to get started on that meat and get it marinated. Now I need to pound this out. You have a tip here that's quite thin and a center portion which is quite thick, and I don't want this to be overcooked while this becomes cooked properly, or this to be undercooked while this becomes cooked properly. That's just not cool, so I need to sort of even it out a little more so I get even cooking throughout. Well, as you can see, we're getting a nice uniform thickness. Now once I get it nice and uniform like that and it's sort of even all over, I'm finished with it. That chicken breast is ready to be marinated. Now I'm going to do each and every one of my breasts. Now I'm going to show you how to marinate one of these breasts, just one side. But what we're going to be doing is covering both sides with the seasoning and with our lime juice. So first take your lime juice and cover well the top of that breast. Don't worry about what runs off because we're going to have plenty of juice in the bottom of this when we're finished. Some salt to begin with. There we go. Now don't worry about if that looks like too much salt because this is going to mostly get washed off, but it will make the juices heavier and they will push into the meat more readily. Now I have my cumin. Cumin is wonderful. It's a seed that provides a nice dry, earthy flavor to it. It's very good. Cayenne. Cayenne brings a good chili flavor but also heat. Now be careful with this. If you don't want it to be very hot, then use very little cayenne. If you do want it to be hot, use a lot of cayenne. If you don't want any heat at all, omit the cayenne, okay? Now, if you'll notice, I'm using a moderate amount on this one. Me, I like mine kind of warm. And then I have also my paprika. Paprika, wonderful chili flavor, really warms it up, delicious, and fantastic when you're marinating like this. So now all I have to do is turn this over, marinate the other side of it, and we're off and running. I'll be doing all of my breasts that way if you would do yours the same. And we'll need to turn these about once every 10 minutes during the marinating cycle. Okay? Now, I want to go ahead and set up our grill. If we're going to have some fajitas that taste like what you're going to have in Texas, you're going to need mesquite, folks. You know, we have some hickory trees that grow here, but mesquite grows all over this state. It's native, and it grows like a weed here. In fact, it is considered a weed tree, and they pay a lot of money to get those things eradicated from the land. So, it has a wonderful flavor. It's an extremely hard wood, and it is a unique flavor. And if you want to taste that real kind of Texas fajita flavor, you need to go ahead, get you some mesquite, and smoke with it. Now I'm just going to put some on my smoker's tray back there. Put my grate over this. And when I heat that up, it's going to provide just enough smoke to give us a wonderful flavor in those chicken breasts. I'm not looking to smoke the breasts, I just want to add a little smoky flavor as I cook them. Now, it's time for us to go ahead and burn the skin off of these chilies before I go to slicing them up. And I do that because if I were to go ahead and just make strips out of this to make slices and cook those up, the likelihood that a skin releases into someone's mouth and they end up pulling that out as a whole long thin skin is just mortifying to me, and I don't want that to happen to anybody that eats my food. So I'm going to go ahead and burn off the skin off the outside of this, and basically all you have to do is blister it so that it releases from the flesh, and then you can peel it off or you can wash it off. And usually I go a little bit further. I just go ahead and char it and then wash it and move right on to the next stage. This beautiful odor gets released in the air when you do this, and I'm starting to get a little bit of blistering with the green there. And when you get that blistering, that's what we're looking for. These things really stand up to the heat well, so don't be afraid to get them right in the fire. It's not going to hurt. Now once they get mostly cooked, if you have a few bare patches and you do have one of these torches, you can use it. And you'll burn those spots right off of it. Isn't that simple? Now I have those charred. I can go ahead, place them in my sink, give them a quick rinse to wash that skin off, seed them, and get them ready for slicing. Let's go ahead and get our vegetables all prepped up to make our fajitas. Now is cut about 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch thick round slices, and be very careful when you're doing this because these things like to move around, so you kind of have to steady it and be gentle. Okay, poblano is simple enough. Go ahead and half it, and I'm just going to make some very simple lengthwise strips about that 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch wide. Okay, it's time that I go ahead and get these peppers cut up. Now what I want to do on these, just to make very simple 1/8 of an inch thick slices, okay? Wow, wasn't that easy? There we go. Well, it's as simple as this. I am all ready. All I have to do now is cook my meat. The grill, I turned it on to high, and I'm waiting for two things to happen. I'm waiting for that wood to start to smolder, and I'm also waiting for the grate to get hot enough. And that way when I put my meat on it, I get that good sear. And I love that. That's a wonderful flavor that you get from that. Now, it's time to relax, okay? Waiting for the grill to heat up. Finish marinating on this. Just turn it until the grill gets hot enough. And when the chicken is cooked, then I'm going to start with the onion and poblano. We'll get those quickly sauteed up in this pan right here. And once they're sauteed and hot, slice the chicken, put it all together, and you have fajitas, okay? It's all about the cutting up front, getting ready for it. Well, I guess we wait. Have something to drink while you wait. My grill is now producing some good smoke, so I'm going to go ahead and put my chicken on here, get it started. Now we're going to give that just a few minutes on each side. It will not take very long. The chicken is in from the grill. Looks absolutely beautiful. Perfect. Now that was about 4 minutes per side. When you pound it out, it cooks just like that, and it's even throughout. Beautiful cooking. Over here, I have a pan that's heating on high heat, and I'm trying to get this up to what's called a searing temperature. And that's where you can take a water droplet, throw it in the bottom of the skillet, and it'll just dance around in there, or it'll break into several droplets and dance all around, but it won't quickly evaporate. Now I just keep testing my pan. It's getting close. You see how those droplets are starting to dance around? But they're doing it on the edge, not the center. So I'm going to turn my heat down, and that'll help even out the heat. And I want a medium-high flame under it, and that way I get good searing on these vegetables. See how that droplet is just dancing in there? Perfect condition. Let's get rid of him. Put our oil in here. It doesn't take much, just enough to coat the bottom. There we are. On these onions, simple enough. Just go ahead and place them in there. A whole ring if you can. They cook up well like that. Now what I'm looking for is just a nice caramelization on these. We're just looking to turn them soft and sweet. They don't have to be mushy. You see how I've got that brown on that one? Beautiful. That's just what I like the most. There we go. They call it caramelization. It makes that onion sweet and delicious. Now, time for those peppers. Now that's a meal fit for a king. Alright, delicious. So let me show you. Everybody likes doing their fajitas a little bit different. First of all, that thing is hot, hot. Now, I like, start with a bit of chicken. I want to put some poblano on there. Poblano is one of my favorite vegetables. It's delicious. Some of that pico de gallo. Oh man, beautiful with the red onion in it. And on this one, I'm going to sprinkle over the top just a little bit of queso fresco. Now, there we have this beautiful chicken fajita, just packed full of flavor. Oh my gosh, tuck that in there. flavor that comes from stuff like this, it's really, really difficult to describe how good it is. These melding of flavors, robust, intense, sweet, savory, spicy, tangy, everything rolled up into one ball of magnificent flavor. I'll tell you what, you want to try a wonderful meal, you've just got to cook this up. Please do it. If you're watching this thinking, should I do that or not? Trust me, this one's worth the trouble. You're going to enjoy it. And I would like to thank you very much for watching Texas Cooking Today. To my subscribers, thank you. Thank you so very much for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, well, I tell you what, I've got great recipes coming out all of the time. So please do. And that way you can stay on top of what's happening. You folks have a good day. Thank you for watching Texas Cooking Today, the show where you can get great recipes and the best techniques are taught. Please subscribe to Texas Cooking Today, where you will always find something hot and ready to eat.